Decision Plus has been and still is a leading stock market service provider. From training to coaching, we cover it all. Try both our software as well as our coaching site, completely free for 10 days without obligation. No credit card is needed to sign up for the trial. The trial subscription will be automatically canceled for you at the end. DecisionPlus.com, your stock market service center. Real-time coaching has been created. We search and classify critical reports and technical movements. You can visualize or hear the best buying and selling opportunities. Get real-time advice all day long and 3 live coaching shows per day. Let us do the work and save your time for trading. Try marketgurus.tv free without obligation for 10 days in the menus above. Market Vision Plus is the trading companion of so many investors. Make your fundamental and technical analysis easy with Canada's #1 stock market decision-making software. Research, decide, and follow your positions with Market Vision Plus. See the menus just above this program and try Market Vision Plus for 10 days without any obligation after the show. When it comes to day trading, Trader Plus is the right tool. Track 50 quotes simultaneously. Create dozens of quick lists. Display as many as 30 real-time intraday charts at the same time. Watch the action with candlesticks or bar charts as fast as 10 seconds. See the market by sectors. Use the chart models already prepared for you. Try Trader Plus for 10 days in the menu above without any obligation.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Swing Trading Show. Today we're Tuesday, June 16, 2015. Today we have a special show because we have a special guest, Mr. Bruce Rowland, CEO of Eurocontrol Techniques Group. If you take a look at this company here, it's a chart that's doing pretty well though. It's in the Venture Index, ticker EUO. As a buying signal, EUO will be a buying signal around 15 cents 46. Right now it's clearly neutral. It has some volume as well. So this CEO, Mr. Bruce Rowland, will be with us next and tell us why his company should represent your next investment. So stay there, folks. He's also open to receive your questions, so that don't hesitate to ask him any questions. With the market situation today, we have a situation where markets continue to remain neutral ahead of the FOMC announcement. Investors kind of don't know which direction to give the markets here. We have the Nasdaq that's rebounding on its support. Same thing too on the Dow Jones. So we still have a neutral formation that persists. For swing traders, though, it's a no-go again for today. It's not a situation where you should open neither short, neither long positions at all on the markets. Before we take a look at some particular sectors, let's take a look at some news here. We had some news concerned with, first of all, Europe, where Greece said that they will not present a plan to the Eurogroup meeting on June 18th, which means that Greece is reluctant to make any concessions. So this created a wave of sellers onto the London Stock Exchange. We also had the hang fears from investors because they fear that the government will crack down after allowing some margin financing. There was a lot of wave of IPOs, and they feel that the government is going to crack down to find out those who actually didn't play by the rules. So this is why a lot of investors are selling their shares, and this brings some selling pressure, and this is why the Hang Seng Index is going down today. So the situation in Greece continues to create uncertainty, but I think really investors are eyeing what the Fed is going to say tomorrow. The meeting is just starting. Tomorrow we'll have the conference presence from the conference call from Miss Yellen. So she'll tell us what they were going to do about the rate hike. Are they going to do it in June, or will they delay it until September? So all eyes right now on Janet Yellen. Now, in terms of the sectors that have been active today, first of all, we had a slight weakness on gold, which is testing right now its support. Concerning the gold sector, though, the decline continues. However, on the gold sector, there are some stocks that are actually resisting this decline, such as Dator Gold, which continues to perform pretty well. IAM Gold could be a buying signal higher than 292. So far, IAM Gold stays neutral, but there are also several stocks, big caps, that are actually pursuing their decline, bringing the sector further down, such as Barrick Gold, Agnico Eagle. Actually, Agnico Eagle, that's a pick that we choose as a short in our analyst choice portfolio on marketgurus.tv that you can have access for free for 10 days. We did recommend that stock as a short here. Now today, with this decline, we have taken this opportunity to take a first round of profit on that stock. So this is what you should do, folks. Even if for swing trading today, it's a no-go to open new positions. If you had some short positions in the gold sector where you can take some profit, especially with today's decline though, be quick to actually take at least the first round of profit on your positions. One positions that we also eyeing in our analyst choice portfolio to potentially take some profit is that position here, NYX, that we recommended as a short on June 8th. If ever the stock can maintain its decline, we're going to have to trigger a profit-taking opportunity on a stock like that. So far, it's having a slight intraday rebound. Concerning the energy sector, it's a sector that remains neutral, just like oil, that remains within its sideways formation. If we take a look at the sector here, the sector is having a slight intraday rebound, but even if the sector pursues its rebound, we see that the upward potential is limited because we still have this downward trend there around 215. So from 209 to 215, about 6 points, not even worth it to actually open some positions for swing trading. If we could actually go above 215, well, we might consider to open some positions for swing trading because we will reverse this short-term downward corridor. So far, we remain within it, and as long as those of you have shorted some positions in the energy sector around here or there, should definitely not consider to close your short positions. For instance, on marketgurus.tv, we had one short exposure on the energy sector with KEL. We recommended that stock as a short here. It's staying flat. It's testing its resistance here. We're close to buy back that position, that short position, but as long as it remains below 925, as long as the energy sector doesn't go above 250 points, there's no reason to close that short position. So as I said, folks, the question bar is open. Feel free to ask any questions. Mr. Roland will be there shortly. So you can also ask him any questions. Now, concerning the news here, we had some news on Oculus Innovative Science. They will say that they are going to sell some of their stake in a company called, the ticker is PULM, and they will sell some of their stake there to a group of investors. The Gap, they will close some stores, 175 in North America in the next several years. Coty, they made an acquisition of the beauty products from Procter & Gamble for $12 billion. And so this is why Procter & Gamble is slightly going up today. And Coty is really surging on that news. And if we take a look at Etsy, they launched a new platform for crowdfunding. So this is actually, I don't know what this is really, but the stock has not really reacted that much to that news. Now, on the Canadian side, we had Goldcorp that sold their stake in Tower Resources, their remaining stake there. They sold it for $17.20 on the bought deal financing. So the stock surged yesterday, a false breakout. Now the stock comes to retest its support there. Sun Life, they will acquire a real estate company called Bentel Kennedy for $560 million. And those two companies combined, they will have assets under management of $47 billion. So good news for Sun Life there, but the stock still is neutral, higher than 42.71. That's going to be the go. And actually in the financial sector, though, it has been a sector that has resisted this morning's decline, especially if you take a look at the TSX here. This rebound was mostly led by the financials, even in the US as well. Let's take a look at some stocks in the financials here. If we take a look at the financial sector in the US, we see that most stocks that are doing better are actually small to regional banks, such as SunTrust banks, regional financials. All of them are testing their resistance. Huntington Bank shares, People's United. There's also other major caps that are joining this movement here, such as For instance, CD Group, which is also testing its resistance, could be a buying signal higher than 57.30. JP Morgan higher than 68.76 is going to be a buying signal. So banks are doing pretty great. Is it ahead of the FOMC announcement that investors are making speculations that the rate is going to stay the same? This will, of course, be beneficial for banks because they will still borrow at a lower rate. So this is actually one of the reasons that can explain why we have a slight wave of buyers, but not a wave of buyers that's consistent enough, that's strong enough to create a lot of buying signal in the sector. We also have some stocks and the list here is the stocks in the consumer staples sector. There are food products, mostly that's the subsector. So food products, the sector is testing its resistance. Even if the sector confirms a buying signal, it goes above 486 points, 485 points, folks, there's still that top that's there. So even if there's some breakouts such as Hain Celestial, yes, it's a breakout, but look, there's a top that's there at 65, so it's not even a 10% potential before we reach that top. This is one of the reasons why a stock like that will never be recommended among our analyst shares portfolio. Other stocks like Campbell Soup, also a clear breakout as well, has a top towards 48.36. On stocks like that, though, if you're buying them, I think you mostly have to be on a need to have a medium to long-term horizon on those stocks because they're not going to make a 10% in the next 2 days. They're not explosive stocks. So those are the ones that actually are slightly leading the rebound so far. But we don't have a lot of breakouts on those stocks here, on those stocks, and even on those sectors. So far, McCormick is a breakout, but it has a top around 79. So really, folks, I think that today for swing traders, the best strategy is to definitely remain on the sidelines, because even the financials, even stocks in the food products, which have led today's rebound, are not great buying signals today. And all eyes right now on the FOMC announcement. And I think it's better to see what the Fed is going to announce, and then, depending on the market's direction, we'll be able to actually recommend a clearer strategy. But so far, to guess what the Fed is going to say and trade on the market for swing trading, I think it's kind of risky for those of you who want to do that.
Find answers to your questions by emailing your host at btm@decisionplus.com.
5 good reasons to manage your investments with National Bank Direct Brokerage. Commission fees fixed at $9.95 anytime for all clients and starting at only $6.95 for active investors. No administrative fees if you hold at least $20,000 in your accounts. Registered accounts available in U.S. currency. Powerful tools to help you manage your portfolio. Award-winning customer service and satisfaction levels amongst the highest in the industry. To learn more, visit nbdb.ca or call us now.
Real-time coaching has been created. We search and classify critical reports and technical movements. You can visualize or hear the best buying and selling opportunities. Get real-time advice all day long and 3 live coaching shows per day. Let us do the work and save your time for trading. Try marketgurus.tv free without obligation for 10 days in the menus above.
So welcome back, folks. So we have one questions here from Anon. Hi, could you tell us more about ACUR? So ACUR, Acura Pharmaceutical, is a clear breakout today. The company announced a licensing agreement with Baytech. So this is actually the news that I found here. So they announced for this drug here, methamphetamine resistant MPD technology. So this is why the stock surged. And actually, we know we've seen a lot of explosive stocks after announcing a licensing agreement. For instance, yesterday, our day trade of the day was that stock here, AXPW. They announced a same licensing agreement. The stock surged by almost 250%. Today, yesterday's rally, has not performed as much. So the stock stayed flat mostly throughout the day. It was not as explosive as yesterday. So buying a stock like that today, I think, has a lot of risk, simply because this optimism tends to be short-lived. So if you buy, even if you're buying this breakout, it's a clear breakout because there's a sideways formation there, it's a breakout. However, already surging by 28%. Technically speaking, if you're buying a stock that is breaking out, you should get out whenever the stock breaks its support. So imagine you're going to buy that stock here at 107. The support is around 80 cents. So the loss potential becomes way bigger, more than 30%. So you're willing to buy a stock, have a risk of losing more than 30%, especially when we have market condition where all markets stays neutral. I don't think it's appropriate to do that. So you might consider that stock for day trading. I think buying it today will not be so appropriate because you see the stock lost all this upward momentum. But see if tomorrow, can tomorrow the stock actually has another wave of buyers that's consistent, and I think then you might consider that stock for day trading. Holding that stock overnight on the news like that, for me, I think it's actually not so worth it because of the higher risk that is entailed with a stock that is surging by so much on a licensing agreement. So this is what we have, folks. Now, if I make a slight follow-up with you guys on the market, on the stocks that we have in our analyst research portfolio on marketgurus.tv, will it would continue to be in a situation where we are holding on to all of them, except for Agnico Eagle, where we have been quick to take some profit. But as I said earlier, NYX, it was still holding on to that short positions around here, even if it's having a rebound. CERF, CFL, and Venture, we recommended that stock as a buy here. Since then, the stock stabilized. So as long as the stock stays neutral, there's no need to do anything on that stock. Our exit point is clear, is if ever the stock goes below $2, because that would be a clear reversal of this upward trend, we're going to have to close that position. Axia Netmedia, it was a stock that was recommended as a buy here on May 28th. So far, the stock stays totally neutral. So as long as it doesn't go below 320, that will also confirm the reversal of the short-term upward trend. There's no need to close that long positions. So on most of the positions that we have in our analyst research portfolio on marketgurus.tv, we're still doing okay. And I think really what we have to see is to see what is the Fed what is the FOMC announcement going to create on the markets. So let's give us some scenarios. For instance, let's say that the Nasdaq was a big wave of sell-off. Investors didn't like what the FOMC announcement said. Well, if ever the Nasdaq goes below 5,000 points, well, then there might be some nice short opportunity, and your target now becomes until this 100-day moving average, which is around 4,950. So there will be some potential on the downside on the Nasdaq. We still believe on marketgurus.tv that it's more likely that markets will go down because there's definitely nothing that's so positive to allow the markets to make a new high and to break all their top, especially the economic indicators recently have not been that good. I'm talking of the manufacturing data we had from New York. So in terms of indicators, we're so-so on the US. For the Dow Jones here, well, what we need to have in the Dow Jones, we'll need to have the Dow Jones that could go at least below that important support. So there will be a less short opportunity on the Dow Jones because look, this support has been tested many times, and it also corresponds to the 200-day moving average in green. So it's going to take really a strong wave of sellers for the Dow Jones to give us a lot of nice short opportunity. And on the TSX, it remains the index with the best short potential. The thing is, if we could have the TSX stabilize for another day there, that will confirm a clearer sideways formation. And on another wave of sellers, let's say the TSX goes below 14,637, then that will be a great opportunity to open new short positions on the TSX. And on our analyst research portfolio, the index that we have favored to open most of our short positions has been the TSX compared to the American markets. Now, as for the best day trade of the day, folks, it's that stock here, CRH. Didn't give as much entry points as other stocks that we have shown in the past, but that has been the best pick that we had in marketgurus.tv. So we had an entry point here, another one on the break of that slight sideways formation, and the next entry point is going to be higher than 438 on the break of that resistance. So folks, stay with us because shortly we're going to have Mr. Bruce Rowland, CEO of Eurocontrol, a company that's doing pretty well in the venture index compared to a lot of companies in the venture index. This company is involved, and it's like they have some technology. It's like a barcode for oil. So Mr. Rowland will be here with us to tell you more about his company, his technology, and why this company should represent your potential next investment. Stay with us.